U.S. President Donald Trump held a rally in Michigan on Tuesday to mark the first 100 days of his second term amid low approval rating and a reported economic fall. In Palestine, at least 23 people were killed and others were injured in a series of recent attacks carried out by the Israeli occupation forces on the Gaza Strip. And the Southern African Development Community began the withdrawal of its peacekeeping forces in the eastern regions of the Democratic Republic of the Congo through Rwanda. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. U.S. President Donald Trump held a rally in Michigan on Tuesday to mark the first 100 days of his second term in office, as the nation's economy reports a fall amid his sweeping tariffs. This rally was his largest public event since returning to the White House in a state that has been especially rocked by his steep trade tariffs and combative attitude toward Canada. At the event, Trump celebrated what he called the most successful 100 days in office, despite polls revealing wide dissatisfaction with his management so far. The rally came at a time when U.S. consumer confidence has reportedly plummeted to its lowest level in 5 years over concerns about the impact of his global trade war. And the United States reported its first economic contraction in 3 years as a result of President Donald Trump's tariff policy. The Commerce Department released the data in its report on Wednesday, previewing the drop in gross domestic product that caused consumer business activity to slow sharply. The report reinforced U.S. growing disapproval of Trump's mishandling of the economy as he reaches 100 days in office. The economic contraction was swamped by increased imports as businesses competed to avoid higher costs from the tariff war. As a result, consumer confidence is near a 5-year low and business activity has slowed. And in the United States, several voices are raising in the political sphere against Donald Trump's administration as the head of state marks 100 days into his second mandate. In this scenario, Democratic Governor for the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, delivered a keynote speech at a Democratic fundraiser in New Hampshire on Sunday, criticizing both Republicans and fellow Democrats. Pritzker urged citizens to pressure congressional Republicans to oppose Trump's agenda and highlighted how the president's policies affect his state. In addition, the governor defended the positive role of migrants in the enrichment of U.S. society and its economy. In this context, the governor called for mass mobilization against what he described as a destructive administration. Spain is recovering from the massive power outage that left a large part of the country without electricity or internet. Traders and workers are trying to get back to normal. Let's see the details with our correspondent, Andres Flores.
Power outage left a large part of the country without electricity, telecommunications, or internet. It forced thousands of people to walk for long hours to return to their homes.
It affected me when it was time to go back, because the train was not working. So I walked from Placa Catalunya to Fabra and Puig, 45 minutes. And I found a group of people who were also going to my area, where I live. And from there to wait in line and everything to catch a bus, to catch another bus. So that finally my family would come to pick me up in Granollers. So all in all, it was about 5 hours traveling.
The president of the Spanish government demanded responsibility from the private operators for the blackout and stressed that it can never happen again. Many workers were surprised by the outage at their workplaces, like Ignacio.
We were on a construction site, and it caught us. The blackout meant that we had no more light, no electricity, no energy. Then, when I went outside, I saw that everything was the same. Everything had gone out, even the phones.
Barcelona tries to recover normality after this massive blackout. Some shopkeepers have told us that they have had to throw away the products they had, and others are trying to calculate today what their losses have been. We met Andrew, a neighborhood merchant affected by the blackout. Andrew, like so many others, is trying to get back to normal today.
It is a fruit and vegetables trade. We had a good start to the day yesterday. We just unloaded and suddenly the power went out, which prevented us from weighing with the scales and so on. So we couldn't do much business.
Andrew, like so many others, is trying to get back to normal today.
Well, at the beginning not many people came, but now all the people who came during the blackout have started to come and, well, I guess today we are going to have to work extra.
Today everything is normal, yes, everything is very good.
A judge of the National Court will investigate a possible cyber attack, although the company Red Electrica rules it out. The reasons for the power outage remain to be clarified.
Andrés Flores, TeleSUR, Barcelona.
We now have a first break coming up. Before we invite you to watch this Wednesday our special interview with Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, who broadcasted at 6:30 p.m. Quito time and 7:30 p.m. Caracas, New York, and Havana time. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Venezuelans commemorated Wednesday the comprehensive actions led by the Civic Military Police Union, which followed the coup attempt of April 30th, 2019. At the event, the United Socialist Party of Venezuela's Secretary General Diosdado Cabello highlighted that on April 30th, 2019, the people proved their patriotism by having defended heroically the revolution. Cabello recalled that they faced that day the same far-right groups which have attacked the government many times. The leader further noted that the opposition received on April 30th the help of some senior officials who committed treason. Likewise, the Secretary General praised the commitment of not only the Bolivarian National Armed Forces and Police Corps, but also the people, stressing that the three forces united bravely in defense of the revolution. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro met Tuesday in Caracas with Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell as part of the latter's official visit to the Bolivarian nation. The meeting provided the opportunity for both nations to strengthen their bilateral relations with the signing of agreements and the definition of a roadmap to achieve economic complementarity between both countries. The Prime Minister of Grenada praised what he described as win-win relations with Venezuela, which were also characterized by their cordial, fraternal, and friendly nature. On the other hand, President Maduro stressed that the visit of the Grenadian leader represented an additional incentive to continue advancing in the shared development of the mutual benefit and increasingly powerful union of the Caribbean region. And the government of Venezuela congratulates Trinidad and Tobago after its election day last April 28th, where the leader of the Congress of National Unity Party, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, was elected as the next Prime Minister of the nation. The Bolivarian government congratulated Persad-Bissessar for its triumph and highlighted that during her last mandate, both nations consolidated solid ties of cooperation and understanding based on mutual respect and common interest in the welfare of the peoples. In this sense, the statement stressed that Venezuela reiterates its commitment to the continuity of joint projects, especially in the area of energy security, ensuring a reliable gas supply for Trinidad and Tobago, which will contribute to the sustained development of that country and the entire Caribbean region. The 43rd International Tourism Fair, Fit Cuba, 2025 will take place in Havana from April 30th to May the 3rd, and its purpose is to highlight the natural and cultural richness of Cuba. This time's guest of honor will be the People's Republic of China. On this occasion, the development strategy for the tourism sector will be based on establishing and strengthening international alliances for the promotion and growth of the sector in the country. The event will begin with a cultural gala at the Karl Marx Theater, with the participation of the Litz Alfonso Dance Company, which will present a piece part of the show, Fuerza y Compás. This show has taken the company to international stages for its passion, sensuality, and energetic expression of national identity. In other news, Vietnam held a military parade and procession in Ho Chi Minh City to mark the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification, attended by the country's top leaders. The event brought together some 13,000 people, including squadrons of helicopters and fighter planes, which flew over the metropolis, waving the flag of the Communist Party of Vietnam. These celebrations began last April 19th, when the party leader held a meeting with war heroes who attended the military operation that opened the era of reunification, peace and development in the country 50 years ago. This achievement, he stressed, was the crystallization of the blood and heroic sacrifice of millions of compatriots and fighters from all over the country. And tensions keep growing between India and Pakistan as the Islamabad government denounced that New Delhi is planning a military attack in the next 36 hours and warns of retaliation. Precisely, Pakistan's Information Minister Ataullah Tarar said that the government has credible information that India intends to attack Pakistan in the next 24 to 36 hours. The official also added that any act of aggression will be met with a strong response, holding India responsible for the possible consequences in the region. These statements come amid tensions between the two Asian powers following the terrorist attack in Pahalgam in the Indian region of Kashmir, which caused the death of 26 people. And in India, at least 14 people lost their lives on Tuesday night when a fire broke out at a hotel in the city of Kolkata. The commissioner of the Kolkata police, Manoj Kumar Verma, indicated that so far 14 bodies have been recovered and many of the guests who were in the hotel have been rescued. In this regard, it was unveiled that most victims died of suffocation, while at least one person died trying to jump from the roof of the hotel. The authority also noted that a special team has been formed to conduct a proper investigation of the causes that generated the fire, which they reported to be under control. Through social media, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his condolences to the families of the victims. We now have our second break coming up before we invite you to watch on Wednesday, April 30th, our special interview with Grenada's Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell. We broadcasted at 18:30 Quito time and 19:30 Caracas, New York, and Havana time. We now have our final short break. Don't go away. Welcome back. In Palestine, at least 23 people were killed and others were injured in a series of recent attacks carried out by the Israeli occupation forces on the Gaza Strip. According to local media reports, a new aggression killed 2 girls in Jabalia al-Balad and a child and a pregnant woman in al-Sawara. In addition, 12 people were murdered in central Gaza Strip when the occupation forces shelled 3 houses in the Nusayrat refugee camp. The genocidal campaign perpetrated by Israel in the Gaza Strip has already claimed the life of over 52,400 people, most of them women and children, while thousands of bodies remain buried under the rubble. The International Court of Justice began its 3rd day of hearings on Israel's humanitarian obligations to Palestinians 60 days after the complete siege of the entry of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. The 15-judge panel will hear from 40 nations and organizations, including the League of Arab States, their non-binding advisory opinions on Israel's responsibility to ensure the provision of basic supplies to Gaza. The U.S. and Hungarian representatives have taken a pro-Israeli stance, and they are expected to declare Wednesday at the ICJ hearing. Earlier, South African diplomat St. Danger said Tuesday that under the watchful eye of the world, Palestinians have been subjected to atrocities, crimes, persecution, apartheid, and genocide. And the United Nations described as alarming the statements of the Israeli government on the use of humanitarian aid as a tool for military pressure in the Gaza Strip. During a meeting of the UN Security Council, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminded Israel that it has the obligation to protect civilians in the Gaza Strip. His statements come in the wake of a dramatic increase in the looting of humanitarian aid in the coastal enclave amid persistent bombardment. As part of its action, Israel cut off the electricity supply to a desalination plant and closed the entrance of trucks carrying humanitarian aid to the Palestinian territory, promoting famine in the Strip. In other news, a large forest fire was reported in Israel between Jerusalem Forest and Tel Aviv. Rescue teams requested international assistance to contain the fire. During the day on Wednesday, the Defense Ministry deployed the army to evacuate residents near the fire. Meanwhile, emergency teams and firefighters are working to stop the fire. According to the authority, the flames spread due to the high temperatures and strong winds in the wooded area. And the Southern African Development Community began the withdrawal of its peacekeeping forces in the eastern regions of the Democratic Republic of the Congo through Rwanda. The military mission reported that the convoy will travel to Chato, northeastern Tanzania, before being repatriated to their countries of origin. They also estimate that the entire SADC military mission should be out by next May 30th. This measure comes after the M23 movement took control of Goma, the main city of the country, as well as Bukavu in these last 2 months. The Daesh terrorist group, also known as West Africa Province, claimed accountability of having planted Monday bombs along a busy route in northeastern Nigeria. As a result of the blast, some 26 people were reportedly dead, including women and children, in addition to several injured. Authorities unfolded that fatal victims were mostly traders and farmers who were in a Toyota pickup van that drove over a landmine on the road, which connects Ran and Gamboru towns in Borno northeastern state. They further specified that some 3 wounded were taken to nearby healthcare centers for treatment. In this context, the National Security Agency revealed the main targets of the attack were security agents who regularly patrol the roads. Moreover, they say to have secured the area and open investigations. The governments of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger welcome a proposal from Morocco which seeks to provide them access to global trade through the Moroccan Atlantic ports. The Moroccan Foreign Ministry ensured that top senior diplomats of the three landlocked nations accepted such opportunity for boosting their local economies after having met with King Mohammed VI. Those countries of the Sahel region left the Economic Community of West African States last year to create their own security association, the Alliance of Sahel States. Subsequently, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have phased out their military deals with France and increased their relations with Russia in several areas. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.